Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. He Knows Ball here on October 14th. Got Corey to my right, Cam to my left, John Downey in the island of Staten. John, how we doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
It's good, man. Very, very long weekend, and the week's just getting started. But fortunately for us, we got a little fall break action.
Yeah, little maybe some could say a little bonus episode.
Yeah.
Snuck in a little episode for everybody.
Yeah, with John being in this fake land he calls Staten Island. I think for Staten Island, fake. I don't know. Staten Island doesn't seem like a real place. I feel like it's like.
Oh, you've been here.
I don't know about all that. I think that was an imagination, John. But on this October 14th episode, feeling tired. Someone's staring a hole through me. Don't make faces at me. Stay off camera. Soren Alley's now cut because of that. Yeah, gonna dive into this weekend of football. Fantasy Freakouts. Gonna be a shorter episode this week. Give our boys a little bit of time to rest. I know John has been battling some ailments. Was almost put on the IR, but is battling through. So let's get started as we always do. Let's start with Does He Know Ball?
Does he know ball?
Cameron, what do we got today?
Welcome back, everyone. Last week, I did, in fact, stump all of you guys, which don't blame me for not knowing Marcus Mariota is actually the GOAT of QBR. Crazy that he was on that list twice for the top 15. But this week, I tried to go a little bit harder. We're going to do a one-strike system this week.
No go.
One guess, you're out. Bonus answer if you get the actual number correct. But for this week of Does He Know Ball, which state has the most Hall of Famers in the NFL, and then bonus points if you can guess how many exactly.
State, okay.
Yeah, so an actual state, one guess, and you're out.
I got like 2 states in mind. Texas. Texas. Okay.
Vinny's out. Corey?
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the move.
That was a
from the
loud
island.
groan by
Golly.
John. Oh my God, this is
If
tough.
it ain't Texas, I don't know if you're going to be able to get it. That's what I thought immediately before I looked up this answer.
Let's go Georgia.
Georgia's a good shout. JD, what are you doing?
California.
Really?
Nope. Do you have a guess at how many Hall of Famers this state has? You guys have a guess?
Well, give us a state, and then we'll try to guess a number.
Mississippi is number one.
Mississippi.
Mississippi
Wow.
is the number one
No
state with
way.
the most Hall of Famers. Yep.
So, I thought California as well. I was thinking Texas, California, Florida. Those were the 3 that came to mind right away.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, like, Georgia wasn't a bad shot. I was thinking it was definitely somewhere down south, if not California. Mississippi.
Number, I don't know, maybe like
109?
No.
Higher or lower?
Way lower.
way
Oh,
lower.
Okay.
A number maybe like 6. I don't know.
53.
It
No, okay. It was 9.
was 9.
You wanna hear-
Okay.
You want to hear the list?
Yeah.
103.
So, yeah, Mississippi has 9 professional football Hall of Famers. First, Thomas Neville,
Okay.
Harold Sonny Jackson, Brent Favre, Harold Eastwood, Lindy Callahan, John Baker, Billy Ray Adams, and Lance Alworth are there 9 Hall of Famers from Mississippi.
All right.
Good to know that Brett Favre. Brett Favre was the only one that I was like, oh, I know who that is. Wow, some deep cuts from when they played with actual pigskin and leather helmets.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move into some team takes. I've been really keeping this pen up for a week, so I'm gonna start because. Yeah, let's just say in the nicest way possible. I let Ernie know. Ernie's right next door. I let him know. Just be weary of like. There's gonna be some loud noises in here because
Let me know when I need to drop your mic.
you're gonna probably. I would say ready for it because it'd be different if it was one team making me angry in 1 week. Yeah, that happens. The fact that all 3 of my teams are making me want to flip this set, cancel the show, punch holes in the max, walls, TV. I would love to take a sledgehammer to John's face right now. And that's no disrespect to you, John. That's just how freaking frustrated I am. So let's start with the one that John was the happiest about. Because it better.
Oh, this is great. I can laugh all day.
You can laugh all day about it.
This is great. This is awesome.
You win
You want
90.
the sound drop, John?
Yeah. you win 90 something regular season games. You win 90 something regular season games. I saw a stat yesterday that since the London series, when Philly went over and played the Mets, they were 51-51. How does that happen? You win 95 regular season games, win the division for the first time since 2011. And you face the Mets! The Mets! The Mets who aren't good! The Mets are on a miracle run! They were not supposed to be this good this year! Pete Alonso was awful! Now, I know Pete Alonso had his moments. He's had his moments in the postseason, and I'll give him that. This team was not supposed to be this good. Now, John, I don't even think you can deny that. We've talked about it all year. They were not supposed to be this team.
No, not at all. I mean, we saw the first 2 months of the year. They looked like who they were supposed to be. Awful.
Then
all of a sudden, they turned around.
They didn't have Senga for most of the They put Senga in the series, but he didn't go deep into the game. Like we said,
No.
You have Wheeler throw a gem game one. Wheeler goes 7 innings, looks untouchable. Schwarber hits a home run, and I'm going crazy. I'm in your face screaming about it. And then they wasted it. They wasted
the series.
The bullpen. The bullpen evaporates that game. Game 2, you waste another great start from Sanchez. You have to have Nick Castellanos in a walk-off, have Nick Castellanos go 3 for 5 in the game, which is great. I'm glad that he was able to do that and step up with that performance. Then you go to New York, and no disrespect to Sean Manaea, because his mechanics does make the pitch come out of his hand. It makes it tough to read. You make him look like he's friggin' Randy Johnson. You make him look untouchable. You make him look like he's the greatest pitcher on earth. And then what makes me even angrier about that, 7th inning, Manaea goes out. Walks Schwarber on 5 pitches. Walks Turner on 5 or 4. So first 2 guys in the inning, he walks. Harper goes up. He sees a changeup. It looks like a fastball in the hand right on the inner half of the plate. All right, you take your shot there. He's not throwing you anything else. He throws sliders 2 feet out of the zone and you're chasing. And then Casty only sees like 2 pitches, and he hits it. They get doubled up. It's a base running mistake. And Schwarber's thinking it's getting through. That's tough. Like it was. Well, Schwarber shouldn't get doubled up. It happens. But you have a guy who's been untouchable the entire game, and instead of seeing pitches, his pitch count was at like 82. His pitch count was not high. See the pitches, work the inning. You have the heart of your lineup coming up. He walked the first 2 guys. He doesn't want to give them anything to hit. And then game 4. Ranger works out of like 3 jams. He caused them, but he works out of 3 jams. Hoffman picks one up in the 5th, works out of it. Bases loaded, and Lindor turns into Superman. And props to Lindor, dude. Like, we saw, you mentioned the first couple months of the season. The first month of the season for Lindor was awful. He was so bad. But when they moved him to the leadoff spot, he showed that he is still, if not the best, one of the best shortstops in baseball. So I give props to him. I give props to that Mets team. Like, I'll give them props. But it should have happened. You scored 12 runs in 4 games. 7 of them are in 1 game. Your offense is not there. You hit 186 in the series, have a 587 OPS, and you strike out 38 times in 4 games. The hell are you doing? It's awful. It's awful. There's no excuse. You go to the World. If you look, the only big change for this Phillies team was Trey Turner in like the last 3 years, between when they first made it to the World Series and now. Now Hoskins is gone. I understand that, but more or less, besides Hoskins and Gene Segura, the core guys are still there. And then you added Turner. Last year, the last 2 years, they've run into hot teams. They ran into Arizona last year, and Arizona's bullpen was disgusting. But you even look at Game 4. Diaz comes in, Diaz goes out for the ninth. The first 2 guys he faces, he walks, he puts them on. How do you not execute? I don't expect you to score 3 runs in that situation, especially with it being Cody Clemens and Brandon Marsh. But how do you just go, you get first 2 runners on, and then nothing? Absolute nothingness. So that's the first part of this. Again, there's 3 teams that go for this rant. I don't even want to rant about Oklahoma because again, they were going into that game. Deion Burks was hurt. Texas was supposed to win that game. But oh my God. That was the saddest display of football I've ever seen. Quinn Ewers' first game back in they had two games and then the bye. So his first game back in 3 weeks. You get a pick from him right away. You're on short field, and then you miss the field goal. A perfect chance to get a quick early lead, especially with how the offense has been. No, I don't even. The offense is embarrassing. You scored 3 points. I get Texas is a great team. 3 points. Texas is not.
I mean, I was watching that game. They were gift wrapped at a bunch of good field
they
position
had great
too.
field position over and over again.
Yeah.
And
it was brutal to watch.
Texas is Texas. No, this is no shot at Texas's defense, but it's not like they're this end all be all. And their offense is what makes them so good. You scored 3 points. They pulled Jackson Arnold when they played Tennessee. They pulled Jackson Arnold and they brought in Michael Hawkins. But Hawkins hasn't been that good. I'm sorry. Maybe it's time to go back to Arnold. And at this point, if you have 2 losses, you have to win your conference. Let's go through the rest of their schedule for the season because it's not going to happen. They face South Carolina this weekend. South Carolina's been great. They face Ole Miss the week after at Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is in the same boat. They lost this weekend. So they're in the same boat where it's win and go home. Then, oh, good, we get to play Maine. We play Maine, so we beat them by 50, and everyone's like, oh, Michael Hawkins is a god. And then you're at Missouri, who's trying to climb their way back up after last week, after they got battered by A&M. And then you're facing Bama, and then you're at LSU. You're lucky if you get a bowl game at this point. I think they win maybe against Maine, and that's it if the offense looks like this. Because South Carolina's been a very good team. John, we talked about this numerous times about how SC is a great team. Ole Miss is significantly better.
Bama.
Exactly. Ole Miss is significantly better than Oklahoma. Mizzou is significantly better than Oklahoma. Alabama is significantly better than Oklahoma. And LSU is significantly better than Oklahoma. And guess what? They're going to be on upset watch when they play Maine. When they play Maine, they're going to be on upset watch. It's going to be a 10-7 game. And it's great that Brett, look, against Texas's offense, to limit them to 34 points, especially with how bad the defense was. The defense was out there a lot. Venables, I'll give him props for the defense being what they were against that good of an offense. I don't know if I had higher hopes with us going to SEC. I didn't expect us to win the conference or anything. I expected us to be competitive, though. I didn't expect the offense to be this bad. You're at midseason and you don't know who your quarterback is. And now, for the third team I need to rant about, you think, coming off of a bye, you get A.J. Brown back, you get Devonta Smith back, you get Lane Johnson back. You're at home facing the Cleveland Browns. The Deshaun Watson most overpaid, worst contract in football. Cleveland Browns with no Nick Chubb. Chubb's back next week, possibly. Jerome Ford gets hurt in the first quarter. Their center gets hurt in the first quarter. And you win by 4 points. Watson threw for 168 yards. Their 2 running backs after Ford got hurt, Pierre Strong Jr. and Deontay Foreman. Let me ask, when was the last time Deontay Foreman was good at football? 2019, maybe?
2017.
That's what I'm saying. When I was playing Madden in middle school, I was using them. Amari Cooper didn't really do anything. It's not like the receiving corps really did anything. You got Brown involved. Brown went for 116 in a tud. Smith had the touchdown catch. So you got the offense clicking a little bit. Quan didn't have a good game. Hurts was solid-ish. He threw for 264. He had 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. But it's Cleveland. It should not have been that close of a game. And then not only do you just barely beat the Cleveland Browns at home, and again, we got a lot of help from the Lions battering Dallas. So we're trying to climb on, and the Commanders lost. So we're getting help from teams playing other teams in the NFC East. We're the only team in the East to win this week. You have Nick Sirianni, who is already on the hot seat for the season. He's already on the hot seat for how the Eagles have played. He was on a hot seat coming into the year because of last year. You're going to yell at the fans for booing you? You're a loser. You got a buzz cut during the bye week because that was supposed to make them like, oh yeah, we get rid of all like the bad luck. This is gonna change it, and then you beat the Browns by 4, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I don't like that I'm getting booed. It's the Browns. It's the Browns, not even at full strength.
What is Nick Sirianni?
He's a bum. He's a buzz. He's a bust of a coach. And again, I came into the year, there was so much hate towards him. And I said, I was defending him. I'm like, I can't defend him anymore. After how he started the year, we should not be 3-2 at this point. I'm going to be honest. 3-2 is not the worst record. I'm not saying we should be 5-0. But Atlanta, against Atlanta, you need to have that lockdown defense on that last drive, and you get embarrassed by the Bucs. But okay, the Bucs game, I'll forgive because your team is so injured. I realistically think Philadelphia should be 4-1. But Sirianni, with each week, has just made me hate him more and more. And we have a division game at the Giants next week. A game that, on paper, you should win. Burn the papers at this point. Burn the freaking papers. Because at this point, I don't trust. It's not that I don't trust the team. I can't trust Sirianni. He's going to get fired, and if this keeps up, he's going to get fired during the offseason. The city's calling for his head. The city is going to call for his head if it keeps up like this. The only way he stays secure is if Philly goes, what would that be? There's through 5 games, so they have, 12 left? They go, 10-2, which is possible. I think divisional games are always tricky. At the Bengals is tough, and at the Ravens is tough. But I feel like, realistically, they could get, with skill they all have in this team, again, on paper, they have one of the best teams in football. But Sirianni is so bad at his job. He makes me, as my Siri goes off on my laptop from saying Sirianni so much.
Sirianni.
I can't, dude. I can't. He makes me hate watching this team, which shouldn't be a thing with them, their offense already being so prolific, and then them adding Saquon. I should not hate to watch this team, but the way that Sirianni coaches makes me hate. Get another haircut. I don't know.
Listen,
maybe go clean shaven. I don't know what he has to do, but he has to figure it out and figure it out fast.
I just think that if you're getting into it with fans, that just shows his head's not in the right place. And also, coaching we've seen it with another team. I'm not going to name a name, but coaching can derail a season or not make it go as the way they want it to. So, I mean, you're saying 10-2, but he can easily lose them 4 or 5 games, especially those division games. He's not, I don't know, I feel like he's going this way instead of this way as a coach, which is not what you want.
Coming off of
he's not going on the upward trend.
The upward look, and again, coming off of the Super Bowl loss, he made it in his second season there. He's made the playoffs every year he's been a head coach. So you can't take that away from him. He has made the playoffs every single season. But at a certain point, you have to stop saying that it's him doing it, and it's just the team being good. They're winning despite him this point. They're winning despite
It's the team. Yeah.
Yeah. It's how good it is. Again, Jalen has not played as well as he played in that 2022 season. He's made a lot of mistakes. He played a pretty clean game, and especially with how he had a really good connection with Jason Kelce. Kelce called out a lot of the pass protections a lot. He made Jalen's life a lot easier, and he's still trying to build that connection with Jurgens. There's still a couple mistakes here or there with him and Cam Jurgens, but they're going to work towards it because also Jurgens hasn't played center now a year or two because of Kelce. So he's kind of trying to relearn the position a little bit. Because again, you can get all these reps in practice, but in game it's a lot harder. So that is still a tricky thing. But I think Jalen has done a solid-ish job this season. He's had his ups and downs. The offense, I think, besides Saquon's game yesterday, he's been the Eagles' offense entirely. You get Brown back. Smith's been good when he plays. I don't understand how this is a thing. It shouldn't be. It's embarrassing. It really is. It's embarrassing to be an Eagles fan at this point. It is. Like I don't know what are we supposed to do? I'm trying to stay confident, and again, I'm confident in the team. I am not confident. I'm not confident in the team's ability to win purely because of Nick Sirianni. Like I can't. But shout out to the Flyers for winning their first game of the season. Started the season 1-0 and then lost to the Cowboys.
A little positive.
That is the best record they're gonna have. 1-0. It's only downhill from here. We got Edmonton tomorrow. We're gonna be battered. That's just all I got at this.
That was
point.
probably the longest team takes like ever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
15 minutes of rage.
I'm sorry that the both Philadelphia teams and Oklahoma are making me question my sanity more than
you have
usual.
every right to.
More than usual.
Every right to. I think you need to just move down to Philly and just turn all those franchises around. I think at this point.
I don't want to. John. JD, you got it,
Yeah, I got it. I'll start with the Rangers. They're 1-0-1. They took an overtime loss on Saturday, but I mean, they scored 11 goals in 2 games. And something that's impressed me, I know it's only 2 games, but everyone is scoring and contributing right now, which is good. I don't know how long that's gonna last because usually typical Rangers top 6 players do all the scoring, and no one else steps up. And then at the deadline, they try to make a good move that doesn't work out. So hopefully they can keep that going. The Knicks are starting up next week. I know next week I'm sure we'll talk much more basketball, but for now we'll keep that short. I don't know. We could talk about this if you want. The DiVincenzo.
Yeah, let's talk about.
he was heated
let's talk
last
about
night.
Devo a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys last night, like I was a big fan of him. Not anymore. That was not right. That was very disrespectful, I think, in my opinion. Especially going after Brunson's dad like that. You don't do that. Come on. That's just not right. The Fighting Irish, another big win, but they went down in the rankings, which shows how much respect I think the committee has for them. Not much, as we've seen that throughout the years. But they have a big game this weekend in I think the Falcons Stadium against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's pretty good this year, 5-2, I'm pretty sure. So that'll be a decent game. Now the Mets, I mean, at this point, anything that they do is fool's gold. I think they just got to keep going for it. I mean, right now they're down. They lost last night. They got killed. They look like they were playing a different sport. But we'll see what happens tonight. We need Manaea to go out there and pitch 7 strong to give the bullpen a nice rest because the bullpen is not where you want it to be at this point in the season. And now the Jets. Listen, I'm not going to talk about the game yet, but the way the decisions that came down last week were out of control, right? I mean, guys, you're not Jet fans. Like, what do you think of that? Like, Woody Johnson just goes scorched earth and goes, solid, you come to my office, and you're gone. Like, he tells security, you got to go. Like, that's crazy. And then he makes Ulbrich the head coach. And then supposedly Saleh was trying to fire Hackett. Saleh got fired before he tried to fire him. The whole thing's a mess. This is what happens when you're dysfunctional. It'll never change.
It's typical Jets.
But of course it is, but for now I'm happy. So for up until tonight, we'll see what happens tonight, but for now I'm happy. And also I want to read you guys a little tweet. So this is as I was sitting in my bed, the London game, Sunday morning, as Vinny and our buddy Wiggs are in the room next to me. I think Rodgers threw his second pick of the game, and then the Vikings just were rolling in the first half. I wrote, at Woody Johnson, I don't know how you can sit here and think this is quality football. They are never prepared. They never show they never have heart and make a big boy decision for once and step up. 2 days later, look what he did.
So maybe you're the reason. You're the reason Saleh doesn't have a job.
John Donnie in the front office.
Listen, I'm not calling. I don't like calling for people's jobs, but like it comes to the point where if you're not going to produce and get it done, like you can't do it anymore. Like I feel like doing anything in life, but Saleh just not. He was just a fake tough guy too. He wasn't. It wore out quick.
He doesn't
All
show
gas.
emotion.
No. Where was that? Like 49ers, like when they used to make a big play, he used to jump up and around, do whatever he wanted. He stopped that. I mean, just because your team was struggling, like doesn't mean you stop who you are. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just not. I'm excited about Ulbrich though. I think he's going to be I mean, he has no experience either, which scares me, but I think he'll show a little more fire and motivation, give the boys some motivation.
Let me ask this, JD, before we move on, Corey. Going into the offseason, and it depends on how Ulbrich does.
Yeah.
Who do you think is a target for the Jets to get as a head coach?
Listen, I think Mike Vrabel would be the perfect guy. I think he's one of those leaders that you need, especially with a team like this. You see all the talent they have no one leading them in the right direction. That's the problem with this team. It's a bunch of guys that are individuals right now. As much as they want to say they're not, they are. You can see it throughout the game, especially from the quarterback. Like I know Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer and everything, but you got to be a leader. Like these guys look up to him. Like we saw Braylon Allen. I mean, he was born when Rodgers started playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like someone like that's a father figure to him, and he's not. I don't feel Rodgers is showing that.
Yeah.
But I think that Vrabel would be a good guy. I mean, even if Stefanski let go in Cleveland, I think he's a very good coach, just not in a good situation right now.
Yeah.
Obviously Belichick, but he's never coming back here. That's a fever dream. I really don't think Ulbricht's gonna stay. The only way Ulbricht stays, I think, is if he wins the Super Bowl, and with this team, that's not happening the way they've been
What do
playing.
you think about? Do you think they'll go OC minded or like the offensive minded or DC or D minded?
It depends who it is, but I feel this time they have to go with someone with experience. Normally something they don't do because who wants to coach the Jets, right? But I think you have to go with someone with some kind of experience that's done it before and had success too. Like you don't want they had Adam Gase who coached before, but he wasn't good.
Well, let me ask this because the first name that I thought of is possibly B-Flow, Brian Flores, because that Minnesota defense has looked good, dude. I know he didn't have the most success when he was in Miami.
Listen, he is a good motivator. I just don't think that guy's cut out to be a head coach. We saw what happened last time. I think he's more of like a solid kind of guy, like good in his defensive coordinator role.
Right.
Gets the guys to play hard all the time. But I don't know if can he develop like everyone? Like you know what I mean? Like we saw like Miami, they were good, but like they weren't good. Like they were there. Like you know what I mean? I don't think they were great. And also I know Cam would love this, but the one guy I would take with no experience, Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna happen.
Well, he's gone after this year anyway. But
He's gonna go.
Dude, he loves
him and Aaron Glenn, they're both they're both gone.
No, Aaron Glenn will never get a head coaching job. No chance. I love the
You
dude.
don't think so? I think some team's
so.
gonna be stupid and
No
go
way,
for him.
No way Brad Holmes gives up both of those guys or Martha Ford. No way they give up both of those guys in the same season. Maybe Ben Johnson would like to go somewhere, but I think if he was going to move anywhere, last season was his move. Ben Johnson is going to stay until the Lions win a Super Bowl.
That's a good point.
Probably going to be a while, but it's
Corey, what do you got for your team takes?
So I got a bunch. The Penguins started the season 1-2-0. As John alluded to at the Rangers, they absolutely whacked us the first game. Tristan Jarry should be nowhere.
6-0.
Yeah, Tristan Jarry should be nowhere near a goalie net. I mean, he couldn't save a fly if he, it was awful. The defense
Corey, I
was
think
awful.
we can score on him.
Was that?
He thinks we could score.
I
Yeah,
think we
we
can all
probably
score on
can.
him.
He was god-awful last year. So they made a goalie change against Detroit. Joel Blomqvist comes in, first NHL start. 6-3 win, was solid in net. The offense played better. The power play got going.
thanks for
Malkin,
ruining Ferris Bueller night for me, man.
Malkin, 800 career assists the game. And then their last game losing 4-2 to the Leafs, which they kept up with the Leafs. The Leafs are a good team, with Nylander, Marner, Matthews. I mean, that team, they were flying, but Blomqvist looked good in net. They just couldn't get the win. Just a couple bad mistakes and bad bounces. On to UNC football, I've given up hope on them. They lose a fourth straight to G-Tech. They give up a late rushing touchdown. That defense is god-awful. Couldn't stop the run. They gave up 371 rushing yards. Like, they are just god-awful. The only shining light, Amarion Hampton, 18 carries, 137 yards. So UNC is done. I may even stop talking about them at this point. And on to the Steelers, man. The Steelers shellacked up the Raiders in Vegas.
Just keep pushing Najee Harris.
Listen,
What you guys gotta do?
Najee Harris is a dog. Najee Harris is a dog. 14 carries, 106 yards. I don't know how that was his first touchdown of the season. I feel like he should have like 5 at this point.
Because Arthur Smith is
Arthur
Smith is the offensive coordinator.
And also, and TJ Watt, also a dog. I mean, he should be in the UFC after he punched out those two runs for a fumble. Pickens, please catch more footballs, please. I'm begging. And Justin Fields, I mean, he looked all right. He looked better than last week, but it was all about his legs yesterday. I mean, he looked good, but Arthur Smith, I think his playbook is as big as a napkin at this point. I think Arthur Smith, I think they're just, I don't know. I just still feel like they're holding Justin Fields and that offense back. I mean, you look at the first half, it's just another like 3 or 7 point first quarter. Like they had 12 points in the first half. I mean, I don't remember the last time the Steelers had like 17 points in a first half. I mean, I don't know.
Never happened.
I mean,
It'll never happen.
It's great that they're 3-1 on the road, mind you.
Yeah.
4-2 overall in the year. I was very confused on what.
Is Vegas really on the road though? I feel like that's just an excuse to go to Vegas.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't. But I was very confused on why they brought in Arthur Smith, because the big thing in Atlanta, you look how that offense is now I don't know why they love Tyler Algier, by the way. He must have something that if they don't use him, that he's going to release that might get the owner in trouble or something. I don't know what it is, but they love Algier there. But you look, when Arthur Smith was the head coach, he didn't use Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has looked significantly better this year.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't use Drake London. Drake London has looked significantly better this year. And Bijan has been okay. I think he was more focused on his role in Outer Banks than what he's been doing on the football. But this week he looked phenomenal. He had 2 touchdowns, 95 rush yards, got involved in the pass catching game. Like the last few weeks, I think he was worried about his debut acting with Outer Banks. So still you have to watch it. I saw the clips on TikTok. It was hilarious to me. But yeah, I was very confused on why they brought in Arthur Smith as the OC.
I have no answer
the
for you.
offense has not been. That hasn't been good. His offense has not been good at all. And Pittsburgh needed like something to rejuvenate the offense.
I mean, they don't have Matt Canada offense anymore, but
It's
still very just Steeler.
It's not as good as it could be.
Underwhelming, yeah. And last thing I'll add is the holding penalties. Like, I know you're facing Max Crosby, but Broderick Jones, please stop holding everybody. Like, stop putting Max Crosby in a chokehold, please. Like,
He might have to join the WWE.
but no, I'm feeling good against the JETS Jets next week. That'll be a good game.
Corey, you should come over Sunday night. We go watch it.
We can. Both of us are going to be
It's
extremely
gonna be like
frustrated.
it's gonna be like 2 teams throwing rocks. It's gonna be like 2 teams throwing rocks at each other, but it'll be fun.
Jesus. All right. Excited for that one. Up next, it's time to go to the deep, dark, scary abyss. It's time for Soren's Alley. Terrifying. With the open seat with the microphone, Soren, that is where you'll sit.
All right.
Because again, John is in the fugazi place that is Staten Island.
It's real.
I don't know about that.
It's real.
Soren, how are you doing today, man?
We're hanging in there.
What do you think about Staten Island? Do you think it's real?
I actually know some people from Staten Island. I think it's a
Who do-
unique.
who do you-
It's a
He
unique
does.
place.
Who do you know
He
from Staten
does.
Island?
No, he does.
My brother's friend actually lives in Staten Island. He actually went to school with him at the sales. His name is Mark. So
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi,
that was pretty.
Mark.
Is there anyone else you know from Staten Island? Maybe someone
That's
who's
probably that, and probably John.
I was gonna say, is there maybe the person who's on the camera on the TV?
Yeah, I mean it is pretty obvious. So
Is it? I don't think it is. What's going on in the alley this week?
Well, for those that were listening last week, I mentioned that it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And that, it was a very exciting time. I got to spend time with family, friends, and actually got pizza and takeout. We were watching Thursday Night Football.
Pizza and takeout? Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow, you got both.
Celebrating.
Yeah, pizza and wings, Vinny,
Ooh.
actually.
Some wings, Soren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you indulge in any alcoholic beverages being the age of 22?
Yes.
I don't know about you, but Soren's
Mostly
22.
seltzers.
Big seltzer guy.
High Noons.
Good for you,
Not,
Soren.
not sponsored.
Yeah,
Please,
no,
Barstool, do not
Yeah.
sue us.
It's okay.
But how was the rest of your week following the birthday?
It was good. I got to be a part of a golf tournament this past weekend. Very exhausting. Didn't play well. I mean, I did have a birdie on one hole in the second round on the second day. So,
That's good.
So that was kind of exciting. That was the highlight of my day. But I think our team did not do well.
Yeah, the weather wasn't
The
great.
weather was not
Yeah.
good yesterday, but shout out Logan Perone, my boy from back home from Keene University, leading the way, beating up on the Pacers. He was
it was
sa-
unfortunate.
He was saying, because he asked me on, I think Thursday he would reach out to me. He asked how was Glen Mora, and he said it was a really tough course.
No, and
I'm yet to play there. But
No, and it is. It's a very tough course. Some of the fairways are pretty narrow, I would say. There's a lot of there's a few places where there's water in between certain holes, and you just have to know what club you're hitting off the box and how to approach the hole.
that is how
It's all-
golf
it's-
works. That is
It's
how
all
the
about
game
the
of
mental
golf.
game and how you want to
Yeah.
prepare for the
That
next
is,
day.
Soren,
that is how golf
Soren,
is.
I've been saying, it would be great if we did a Marywood golf broadcast and you're in the feature group.
Well, actually,
card.
you know what? You know what's actually really funny? I did get to see Bernie and Faith take pictures for the Woodward
That is cool.
on on Saturday, so that was kind of nice to see.
I don't
even-
think-
even
think
though
they
I
were
sh-
taking it. I don't think it was
Even though I
anything.
shanked my first shot right into the fescue,
Probably actually tried hitting them.
so I got a little scared when they were there. So I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
this is new."
Yeah, Soren tried assaulting someone with a golf ball. Apparently,
No, it's okay.
it's not okay. That's assault, brother. Anything else?
Brother.
Anything else you got going on in this sinky old alley?
Just the Phillies bailed in the playoffs, and
Lost. They lost.
yeah,
They lost, Soren. They lost.
Congratulations, John.
They're out.
congratulations,
It's not
John.
there's no congratulations yet. It's not over yet.
Job not done.
Yes, well that
You got to have that Mamba mentality. The job's not done.
Go Doyers at this point.
Not done yet.
We're rooting for the Doyers.
Yeah, we don't talk about
Don't
that
watch
game
baseball.
yesterday.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about yesterday's game though, John. That was brutal.
It happens.
It does. It does.
It happens.
Yeah, and the Eagles are still
They gotta win
struggling
tonight.
too, so
That's-
What's the pitch,
nothing's ever new.
what's the pitching
Nick
matchup for
Sirianni.
tonight, John?
Manaya for the Mets, and I think they're doing a bullpen game. So
That's a game the Mets can win. This is a
See
big.
what
If the
happens.
Mets can take one out there, that's huge.
I think they have all the starting pitching. Like, I think they have every matchup basically,
Mm.
in my opinion. Besides yesterday, because Senga's just not. I don't even know why they're even
Yeah,
trying that.
it's
right
just
now,
like
but-
the it's being scared of the ghost fork. Purely the only reason.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the ghost fork?
Yeah, when you spike it at like 20 feet in front of home plate, that's really gonna scare everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say so. Going off what John said, basically. So, I will say that I actually do follow hockey, Corey. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I am a Toronto Maple Leafs fan because my dad loves watching hockey so much.
You bailed out on the Flyers?
Yeah, you
Well,
literally
I
you
also
have
stand
by
you
your
wear
side. What fan of-
Flyers t-shirts.
Yeah, I do watch the Flyers too. I watch the Flyers too, but
What fan?
He's Maple
The
Leafs.
Leafs.
Fan.
Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know if people know that.
Really?
Exit the alley.
That's got a
All right,
grin
yeah.
on
I did
John's
not know
All
that.
All right, thank
I
you.
think that's
Oscar the
breaking news.
Oscar the
Yeah,
Grouch,
that's
go
pretty-
back
it
to your
is
house.
breaking news, yes.
Hey, Oscar the Grouch, go back to your trash can. Thanks for coming on.
Wow, I'm not gonna take that.
Except you're getting up and leaving, so yes, you are.
Bye, Soren.
John says bye. Sit back down.
I found that whole thing funny. I couldn't see him,
But you-
so like he was
It's just the
talking.
thought.
I
It's
wish I
just
saw
the,
the facial
I would say
expression.
it's just the thought of hearing him, the thought of his existence.
Well, yeah, I have like the live stream up, but it's a little behind, so it's
Yeah.
kind of throwing me off.
Yeah. Let's dive into the football from this weekend. We'll start off with college ball. Mainly just going to look at the rankings, but I did want to talk about that Ohio State versus Oregon game, especially saying Ohio State only lost was what, one?
Yeah,
One or two?
32-31.
Yeah, they lost by
One.
1 point and only dropped 2 spots. How about the kid on College Game Day drilling the field goal held by Nick Saban?
100K.
Dude,
Yeah, I think
Saban was coaching him up.
he was tricking McAfee. He said that after. He was like,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
was just getting warmed up for the first one. And then he drilled the second one.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what everyone's saying. It seems like all of them are going to just start doing it now. Like they're going to shank that first one, ask for a second, and then just absolutely drill it so the money goes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And one way to go about it, man. But Oregon picking up the big win, and definitely begs the question for Ohio State. Like they have a lot of tough games the rest of the way out. They face John Downey's honorary team in Nebraska next, Dylan Raiola.
Let's go.
Then they're at Penn State, which is not an easy matchup. Penn State's still undefeated at this point. I think they'll probably end up winning that game. But they face Purdue, and they're at Northwestern, which are games they should win. But then they're versus Indiana, and they're against Michigan, who they haven't beat in a while. And I think this Indiana club is a very, very good team. Moved up 2 spots in the rankings, Indiana did. So Oregon State does not, or Ohio State does not have a easy rest of their season. I think Oregon will probably be good. They really only face Illinois and Michigan the rest of the way. Everyone else seems beatable. Even though Washington, at the end of the season, could be a trap game for them leading into the Big Ten playoffs. And then Penn State, only tough matchup the rest of the way seems to be Ohio State. Obviously, there's trap games that'll come up, but it seems like this is the most confident Penn State has been. I know, John, you were pulling for USC to beat them, and Penn State was able to rattle back this weekend.
Yeah, that USC, they're hot garbage, man.
Yeah,
It's embarrassing.
they're dead. LSU moving up 5 spots after their big win against Ole Miss. Alabama not moving in the rankings, which I don't understand. They escaped SC, and again, I'm high on SC. I think they are a very good club, but they barely beat them.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Because they should have lost that game. They should have lost that game, man. They really should have.
It shouldn't have been a game at all. Like Bama is, it just proves that it is the post Saban era for Bama. And Bama does not have easy matchups the next 3 weeks. They're at Tennessee, home against Mizzou, and then at LSU. Those are not easy games. Those are all ranked games that if Bama loses, they're gonna be quickly. They could be quickly out of the picture for at least the SEC championship, because Georgia's 5-1 right now. Georgia still has to run into Texas, which is actually next week, so that's gonna be a phenomenal game. Texas looks untouchable at this point. How about Army and Navy both being ranked? Love to see that.
Now, if you think that's not American, I mean, you can't get any more American than that. I mean, come on, I mean,
it's big for A&M too, John, or not for Notre Dame, John, because I know they face them within the next few weeks, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They play both teams. They play Navy 2 weeks, and they play Army too.
Yeah, so with them,
I mean, I'm
both
really
being ranked-
hoping for Army Navy. I'm really hoping for Army and Navy to play each other for that last playoff spot, but that we would
That
need
would be kind of sick.
Boise State to lose, which
no.
Which let's
But
be
that
honest,
would be sick.
we're not rooting against Boise State. Ashton Genty,
no, we want to see.
our-
our only Moi Goi Hall of Famer. Oh, dude,
He might be the only guy that stays in that hall.
I mean, the way he's been playing, there's some guys who I could see getting in there, but yeah, Genty is on a level zone. BYU moving up. Ole Miss, Ohio State, and the 2 teams falling off were the only 2 teams to really plummet. Even though Notre Dame falling doesn't make sense, but they just hate Notre Dame, John. They're anti-Dame. Don't know what it is.
Yeah, they are. They're gonna get screwed out of a playoff spot by like one probably 1 spot, 2 spots. I already know.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll switch over to the NFL. The Pip Cheerio game of the week. Caleb Williams balling out. Jacksonville's second home. They usually don't lose over there, and they got embarrassed on their second home field. Bears doing work out there. Packers beating up on the Cardinals. Jordan Love looking phenomenal. The Texans beating up on the Drake May-led Patriots. Drake May didn't look bad in his first start. Again, a lot that is left to be desired. He was under pressure a lot of the day because the Patriots offensive line doesn't exist. It's the Patriots' offensive line is basically Staten Island. It's fake. It's not there. It's not a. It's not a.
That's a horrendous comparison. Horrendous.
But no, Drake May did look solid. What 20 for 33?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, 20 for 33, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks against a solid Texas defense too. I think they definitely made him throw a lot with them trailing, and he doesn't really have anyone to throw to. Like Demario Douglas being the leading receiver just proves they need a lot of help out there. But again, May didn't look awful in his first start. I think that's kind of what you expected for his first game, I guess, especially against the Texans to look like. I think that definitely instills a little bit of confidence in him. Chargers come up with the victory. The Ravens finally hand the Commanders another loss. Commanders were on an absolute heater, 4-game win streak. We found out what a Commander is. They have been phenomenal. The Detroit Lions puts a smile on I think everyone's face is smiling seeing that Dallas lost.
America wins.
America wins when Dallas
Honest
loses. And oh my lordy.
Everything
Did
goes
they
wrong
lose?
in Dallas, dude. Everything goes wrong in Dallas.
Yeah. How you feeling about that game, Cam?
Let me change costumes real quick. All right.
It's a draft day decision. I'm going to Detroit.
I couldn't pick a hat. Honestly, I'm really proud of the Tigers. Their season. I don't have a team take segment. I don't really got to talk about them. Great season. Man, I don't think I've ever been more miserable watching a second half of football in my entire life since the NFC Championship game. Granted, I've had a lot of miserable times watching the Detroit Lions, but I don't think I've ever been that upset and felt my mood change when I should have been absolutely through the moon. Absolutely should have been 100% smiling ear to ear. I had a blast watching the Packers smack up the Cowboys in the playoffs last season, and we were doing the exact same thing. That was the best first half I've ever seen. Easily, no complaints, really had no issues. And then Hutch's leg becomes jello. I mean, it's literally, I have not seen, thankfully they didn't show it on Fox, but I was confused because, I was at a local bar with a couple of my friends and us, and they didn't show the replay, and I kind of, my head was down. I was looking at, the Pittsburgh game at the time, so I was watching, Najee get pushed for, 15 yards or something, so I didn't even see what was happening, and, I saw the clip of, he was, on Fox where he was, pulling his hand. I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? And then I open up my phone, go to Twitter, and I probably seen the worst leg break of my entire life since watching Anderson Silva's completely snap his leg on a dude's shin about I don't even know, a whole decade ago. The Lions might be screwed big time, dude. And I don't want to even overreact because our secondary is really good. Our run game has never been great. I mean, our offense is top tier, but looking at our depth chart, right now, who do we pull up from the practice squad right now? Pat O'Connor, that's the only defensive end that we have on our team right now.
I think we might have found a home for Hassan Reddick to get traded. So.
I don't want Hassan Reddick. I don't want. I was meeting
Dude,
my dad.
There's been big news with him. He hired a new agents.
Womp womp,
So
dude.
supposedly he's working out a contract
We're
now.
not going to give him the money that he's already lost. I don't want Hassan Reddick anywhere near this team. And we just lost.
He would help them.
I don't care. He would not fit in the locker room. I really don't want Hassan Reddick there. Yes, he would help us, dude. But after losing Marcus Davenport against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago, now we're down Hutch. Looking at our defensive ends, whole depth. Levy, he's all right. He's not Aiden. Josh Paschal, that's cool. And then I liked what I saw from Isaiah Okwu yesterday, dude. But we have 3 guys on the active roster now that are defensive ends. I was watching one of my favorite Lions content creators on YouTube, Lions Syndicate, little shout out to him. But get Max Crosby. I don't care what it takes, dude. Give up a first round this year. Don't give up a player. Give up a first round, give up a third round, give up a fourth round. We need a guy like that. I mean, what's his name from Jacksonville too? The defensive end. He was crap. I'm drawing a huge blank on him. Maybe his name will come to my mind. But
I was about to say, even if it's not Reddick, I feel like that's definitely something Detroit has to pursue is getting a edge rusher.
Because, even, they had, a Lee McNeil slide outside yesterday afterwards, and it worked, but also, Dallas's whole confidence was pretty much shattered. Love seeing Dak Prescott cry.
Yeah.
But, you can't slide a Lee McNeil outside defensive end. No one else is 6'7", 250 pounds. I was talking to my dad immediately after, dude, and it's just I just hope it's not an Alex Smith situation, man. It's just thankfully, with him going into immediate surgery, like it's hopefully no ligament damage. Like I was reading that possibly the bone could have broken through the skin, which honestly, that's the best case scenario right now, unfortunately. But like, I don't know, man. I'm so like I've never felt my heart just more crushed.
Yeah.
Like, but it was awesome watching Dan Campbell get into his little bag of tricks for like the second half. Like he had Penei Sewell running routes, Dan Skipper playing like a slot receiver. I was waiting for Frank Ragnow to call eligible. Like everything that could have like happened like yesterday was awesome. Like the flea flicker between Amon-Ra and Penei Sewell. The refs just had to ruin that one. Like they had to get in the way. Like honestly, just decline the penalty, Dallas. Like please. Like
At that point, yeah.
let the big man get his moment. But
I think we found out what your pick 5's gonna be next week.
Yeah.
Maybe worst leg injuries,
Yeah.
worst
Oh.
injuries we've ever seen.
Yeah.
please don't. But anyway, I don't know, dude.
Lions won though. That's
They did.
I guess, man, but like mentally, like that
Yeah.
was such a huge. I like the way the locker room. I've been talking about this way too much, but I like the way the locker room reacted to it. I mean, I feel like Dan Campbell had a pretty solid statement. Obviously, he's going to be staying in Dallas for the next couple of weeks recovering. Brian Branch had some nice words to say after the great game that he had yesterday. I mean, Kirby Joseph would have had 4 interceptions if they weren't all called back. I mean, Hutch would have even had a sack in the first quarter if that wasn't called back as well. I don't know. Just glad we got the win. I don't know, dude. I don't know why we have played Dallas for like the last like 5 years, but can we like stop playing in Dallas? Because like everything always goes wrong in Dallas. It's every single season. I don't get it.
And the only thing I will say is since you sang the Lions fight song, I mean, Goff, that's the
Goff
first game he's thrown an incompletion, and he's been real consistent,
I mean, dude, I don't know. I like everything that was. I'm getting a little concerned, not so much about the Hutch injury, but more the fact that like Dan Campbell keeps giving away like all the special plays. Like what was that triple flea flicker between Montgomery and Amon-Ra, and then just a 50-yard dime to Sam Laporta? Like this team is so much fun to watch, dude. And like I don't know. Yesterday I felt like all that fun was just stripped away. But I don't.
They are 4-1.
They got grit. Next man up always. It just sucks to see a man like Hutch go down like that.
It is very interesting if you're looking at the NFC North. Everyone is above
Scary.
500. The worst team is 4-2, and it's both the Bears and the Packers. Detroit's 4-1, already having their bye.
We got
Minnesota's 5-0, coming off bye, and you're at
They're gonna be
Minnesota.
Yeah, they're gonna be 5-1 next week. I fully believe it. Hopefully, I don't know. I have faith. It's always a weird thing with the NFC North because I feel like there's never such a thing as home field advantage. I mean, there is a thing as home field advantage, but like, it always seems like those teams
They
like,
travel well.
They travel extremely well. All the groups. I don't know about the Bears so much, but
The Bears.
I feel like every NFC North divisional game for at least like the 3 years, no one can really win at home. Like it's truly like last year, like we beat the Bears, or actually that was the one year we did not beat the Bears at Soldier Field, but we beat the Vikings at US Bank Stadium, and then we take Vikings at home, we lose. We beat the Packers at Lambeau, we bring them to Ford Field, and we lose. It's such a hard division. It's like really exciting to watch, but scary at the same time. Honestly, at this rate, I think all 4 teams could have a chance at the playoffs, which is kind of shocking.
But it's very weird to see a division like that, but it's definitely not the furthest thing from.
I was also saw a statistic earlier. Is like the point differential for the NFC North. It's at like 212, and then like the next division up, I don't even know, is like 78.
That's what I'm saying.
almost like
Every team has had. They also haven't played each other. A
Yeah,
lot of them have
I
not
know.
run
That
into
is-
each other
that
yet.
is
So that is a
true.
big thing at this moment. But it's very interesting to see what that division is going to shake out to look like, especially with a lot of teams overperforming at this point.
Also, one quick shout out to Soren's favorite Lion, Craig Reynolds, the man, the myth, the legend from Kutztown University, located in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. Two rushes yesterday, 1 fumble, but glad to see him on the field. And then Hendon Hooker looked great. I know he only threw twice, but really happy to see him. Actually, that's the thing. Give the Raiders Hendon Hooker, dude. We don't need him. Unfortunately, give them Hendon Hooker. Give him a first-round pick. Let's get Max Crosby in a Lions uniform as quickly as possible.
Okay. The rest of the games for the night: Falcons battering the Panthers in divisional play. Algier out rushing Bijan yet again. I mean, Algier also ran for 105 yards, so it's kind of hard to outrush that, but still. And Bengals escaping the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Very ugly game. Let's switch over to a fantasy perspective during Fantasy Freakouts. I hate fantasy football. So I'm confirmed to win one league, and I think it's a miracle if I win the other. I'm down by like 70 or like 60 with like a kicker left. It's bad. My entire team on that league was on bye, and then Ramondre Stevenson was ruled out, so I had to quickly pick up Antonio Gibson from the waiver wire. So it was very, very ugly. In the Marywood League, waiting to see what Aaron Rodgers does tonight. I'm up by, I believe, 11, John? It's not a lot.
7.9.
That's it? Jesus. So I'm going to lose that. And I want to give a big shout out to Greg Joseph. This is why I hate kickers. Get me on McAfee, because they're trying to take the points late in the game, and he misses his second field goal and gets me a -1. So at least it would have been 8.9, but of course, Greg Joseph, you stink. Also in that same league, Starvin Marvin. Oh boy, was he starving. Only 2 targets. I know he had he got pulled from the game with the concussion, but he was indeed starving. Goose egg. Let's move on to the positives. Jordan Love, like I said, had a phenomenal game. 4 tutties, over 250 pass yards, and over 25 points. Terry McLaurin having a heck of a game. 23.3 points, couple touchdowns. I'm so happy I got George Kittle. Dude, honestly, that trade, John made fun of it for being such a bad trade, but it has worked out for both of us.
It kind of has.
You've got the quarterback that you've needed, and I got the tight end that I was in desperate need of. Kittle, 5 catches, 58 yards, and 2 tutties on Thursday Night Football. Bucky Irving finally showing out. I mean, everyone except for Mike Evans got a piece in that offense for the Bucs. Shout out Sean Tucker too. I know nobody had him in fantasy, but he went crazy. DeAndre Swift looking really good. I was worried as of a few weeks ago if Swift was losing that backfield. I think he's won the job back. I think at one point it seemed like it was Rashawn Johnson, but I think Swift has really proven that he is their go-to back, and they went out and signed him for a reason. They signed him to a 3-year deal. And Deebo Samuel only had 3 catches, but made the best of it. 102 receiving yards and 15 rushing yards to go with a touchdown. But I still hate fantasy football. What do you got, Corey?
So the depression may be gone. Maybe. So I'm looking 1-1 this week in my one league. I'm winning by 4, but the guy I'm playing is Garrett Wilson tonight. So right now I'm favored to lose by 12. So we'll see what happens. But that doesn't matter because the Marywood League, the suffering may finally end because A.J. Brown came back, Joe Mixon came back. Brown gave me 23, Mixon gave me 27, Fields gave me 23, Diggs went off with 19. But John, I'm sorry, but I need Ben. Ben has the Jets defense and Tyler Bass. If they don't score more than 15.78, I will be 2-4, and the losing streak will be over. So please tell the Jets defense to be awful tonight for me.
Well, the defense gets what? Starts with 10. You just got to hope Tyler Bass doesn't even get a sniff of kicking tonight.
Yeah,
and you're good.
And that too, yeah. Because Ben had Godwin that went off. Algier for him went off. Hunter Henry has 13. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's no way that my team is, like, healthy now, and I'm still going to lose. I'm like, there's no way.
You got a real catch-22. You got a catch-22 in the sense of if the Jets' defense is playing poorly, especially if once we get to Ben's pick for later, if the Jets' defense is playing poorly, that means the Buffalo offense is working well, which means Tyler Bass could get points kind of quickly. So
they got to play even at this point.
You need what John said. You need the Jets
defense.
defense.
Yeah, I would be stressing a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I am.
You need the Jets defense to just not get sacks, no interceptions, no turnovers whatsoever, but then the Bills offense just to not score. That's what you're hoping for at this point.
I know. But I'm a little worried because I still need an RB2 because the trade with for Charbonnet that Soren gave me is just awful. Like, he does nothing.
At least it wasn't Jake Elliott.
And
sit there in misery.
And I still need a tight end, even though I gave up Kittle. Parkinson was on bye this week, so I had Eric All Jr. this week.
I think Higby might be back soon.
Yeah, so
I don't know if he's rostered.
So maybe I might make a couple moves. But, I mean, other than that, this was a much better week in the Marywood League. Maybe no frosted tips. Just maybe.
Might have to be like twin, though.
Tonight is everything tonight, so we'll see. Go Bills.
All right, John.
All right, talking about the Marywood League, we just said with Vinny, I just needed Rodgers to get me 8 points. Guys, our league is nuts. I was trying to do scenarios of who wins this week. I think almost more than half the league could be 3-3 after this week, which is crazy to me. Also, I got to give a shout out every week to Brandon Aubrey. Once again, just stepped up, got 13 points for me. Also, the Bucks defense. I picked them up later in the week because I had enough of the Browns. I'm done with them. The Browns got me. The Bucks got me 17 points, so that was big. David Montgomery, another big shout out, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's doing awesome for me. Besides me benching him week 1, but I don't know why I did that. And then in my other league, Dak, you should be ashamed of yourself, man. Like I don't know what, I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what it is when you play at home. Like you forget how to play football. Like I don't get it. Like you had I think let me pull up the exact number.
He played.
I think it was 3.7. Yeah, I'm sure he did. 3.22. I mean, my team still put up 110, but I played my dad this week. He put up 169 points. So I really had a close call there. So that's another loss for that team. That league's frustrating me because everyone has their best weeks against me for some reason. Not sure why, but everyone's teams decides to become like Hall of Fame Tom Brady when they play me. But that's besides the point. That's all I got. So hopefully 1-1 after tonight this week.
Let's hope not. I'm praying now. We got
Listen, if he doesn't get 8 points, that's a serious problem.
I'm aware. That's what I'm rooting against. Go Brees Hall, go Braylon Allen, just not Rodgers. We had some breaking news come up when John was doing fantasy freakouts. I know you're not happy about it.
I mean, it's not a shocker at all, but it just came up on my phone. He's out for the season. I don't know. What it was. I think I was trying to read it. It was very tiny font, but looking to be an 8 to 10 month recovery.
Yeah, so no hope for even the playoffs, which sucks.
I don't even think. I don't know if he plays next season. To be completely honest with you, that is so scary. I mean, I'm hoping there's no ligament damage, but that is something that
I mean, fortunately,
ended a lot of careers.
Yeah,
so.
fortunately, and 8 to 10 months does put him about the beginning of training camp for the earlier side towards the beginning of the season, which sucks too because he was going to be a front runner to win DPOY, so it definitely stinks that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's get away from the Senators.
It ain't the Lions though if they don't have a trash D
That
line.
is.
So.
Let's move on to Moi Goi of the week.
Wait, is that your Goi?
Oh, I thought that was your Goi.
No, that's
Moi Goi
of the week. All right, I'll kick us off. Moi Goi of the week is the rookie quarterback in Chicago. Was in London this week. Caleb Williams truly had his breakout performance. Had been playing better the last few weeks, but really showed out in London. Threw for about 80% completion rate. Threw for 4 touchdowns, the most of his young career. Threw for over 225, and ran for just about 60 yards. And he was spreading the wealth around. I know he had really formed a connection with DJ Moore. It sucked in fantasy because I needed DJ Moore to play well, and he didn't. They caught a touchdown back on that. But he really spread the wealth around. Was able to find Cole Kmet a couple times for the touchdown. Keenan Allen as well. I would like to see that connection with Odunze continue to grow. I think it will after the season. I think with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and so many mouths to feed, we haven't seen what Odunze is truly capable of doing, but I think he's a big-bodied receiver who can really help this team out in the future. Swift, Johnson, Moore, and Mercedes Lewis able to get a reception in there, but really good performance by Caleb Williams. And he has his Bears team at 4-2, which I can tell you, that was not something I was fully expecting. I expected the Bears to be better than what they had been in the past, but I did not expect Caleb Williams to lead this squad to a 4-2 start. Have a bye this week, if I'm not mistaken. And then we get to see rookie versus rookie in the following week when they face the Commanders. So I'm honestly really excited for that game. But yeah, Caleb Williams, Moi Goi of the week. Who's your guy, Corey?
Bryson Daly, the quarterback for Army.
Who?
He led Army to a 44-10 victory against UAB. Had 5 total touchdowns. Now, he only threw the ball 7 times, 102 yards for a touchdown, but ran 12 times for 136 yards and 4 touchdowns. Also, he ran 2 or 3 games over 140 rushing yards. So maybe he has a little bit of Gene T in him, maybe.
Might
maybe.
Might up in the Hoff soon.
But he leads Army now to a 6-0 start, 10th straight win, which extends the nation's longest active win streak. And like we mentioned before, they're now ranked in the top 25. So he's Moi Goi of the week.
Bryson Daly, what a guy. Throwing as much as we throw a football around once in a blue moon, but A win's a win. They don't ask how, and they ask how many. And Daly doing what they need to do. JD, who's your Goi?
How dare you bring him up?
I got Stephen Kwan. I couldn't believe this. I was kind of struggling this week, guys, like who to pick. I really didn't know who to go with, and I was like, oh, let me check out baseball. I see Stephen Kwan batting .524 in the postseason in 5 games. That is insane to me. 11 hits and 21 at bats, only 1 double. So he's just getting up there poking those singles to left field like he usually does. Setting the tone at the top of the lineup for that Indians team, that Guardians team. Sorry about that. I'm always used to saying that Indians, but it's the Guardians. Helping the Guardians reach the ALCS, and I really think they're going to give the Yankees a run for their money. I think it's going to go 6-7 games. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they'll give the Yankees a nice run for their money. And Stephen Kwan keeps us up. He might be Moi Goi next week as well.
Could be the next Hall of Famer.
Next Hall of Famer, yeah.
Hitting like there's no tomorrow. I mean, that's kind of how Kwan's been, dude. Was it last year or was it this year when he was flirting with 400? I think it was last year.
I think it was last year, yeah, because he was hurt, I think, a little bit this year.
Yeah, but Kwan's been excellent.
He's been over 300. I know that.
Yeah, he just that's all he does. All he does is he also doesn't miss. When he debuted, I think it was like 100 or so at bats of like not having a swing and miss. It was something crazy.
I think he got a hit. I believe in every game against the Tigers, and I believe he almost had 2 every game as well. He's like always like. I mean, like the last game, Game 5, he was 3 and 5.
Yeah. The Tigers' rotation isn't phenomenal. But Scuba is very, very good. But I'm very interested to see what he does against New York. I think this could be a tricky spot for the Yankees. I would love to see, though. Let's move on. Next segment, Pick 5. JD, you had it this week. What was your Pick 5 this week?
All right, so my Pick 5 this week. The Mets have been kind of making me think about underdog playoff runs, because obviously we didn't see this coming. So I got my top 5 underdog playoff runs that resulted in a championship. So the Mets will not be in this one because obviously they're still playing.
Hopefully soon, though.
We'll start. Hopefully, yes. That would really make me like. I don't think I would stop smiling for the next year. But all right. Number 5. I'm readjusting here. Number 5, the 2010 Green Bay Packers. This is something I didn't know, that when Aaron Rodgers led a young Aaron Rodgers when he was more mobile, they got that team into the playoffs as a 6 seed. So they were the last team to make it. They went on the road for all 3 playoff games, beat the Eagles, Falcons, and Bears, and then won the Super Bowl against the Steelers. I did not know that. Like, I don't know if you guys did, but I had no clue that they were a 6 seed that went on a Cinderella run.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just remember in like elementary school, my gym teacher, she's a Packers fan, and she was just complete clowning me after we lost, and I was almost like bawling my eyes out at the lunch table.
Man, you're getting bullied in middle school by a teacher. She'd probably get her fired.
She's like, "What happened?" I'm like,
she was James Draws before James Draws. All right, who's number 4, John?
Number 4, I got the 20. All these teams are like early to mid 2000s. Number 4, 2011 St. Louis Cardinals. This is a team I do remember. They snuck into the playoffs, getting in by just a game. And then just think about this too. Like back then, there was only that one wild card, so they were that last team, that 4 seed per se. Because now there's 6 teams that make it. They got in as that 4 seed. They beat the Phillies and Brewers to make it to the World Series. Then down 3-2 in the World Series, they made a huge comeback in Game 6, won that, and then won Game 7. But I remember David Freese hit that huge home run for them. I don't know. It's just like these teams that just barely get in the playoffs. They got something to them.
I don't like talking about that St. Louis team because that was the beginning of the suffering as a Phillies fan. I vividly remember in Game 5, Ryan Howard grounding out and tearing his Achilles, and that was the down, because that's when the Phillies were peaked. That was from 07 to 11 was when they made constant World Series runs. Or playoff runs. They won in 08, lost in 09, lost to the Giants in the NLCS in 2010, and then who ended up winning the World Series that year. Lost to the Cardinals in 2011, and the Phillies were significantly better than them. They won 101 games. They had R2-C2 as the rotation with Holiday, Oswalt, Lee, and Hamels. And the Vanimal, Vance Worley, as the number 5, who had his one and only good season. You're just picking the first two. I'm not reading the notes. You're just picking teams that it's hurting, John. It's hurting me a little bit.
I apologize. Number 3. This I knew, like the Kings had like a good run from like 2011. I think it was. I don't remember when they beat the Rangers. It was like sometime within those years. But the start of this run was 2011. They got in as the 8th seed, so that was the last team to make the playoffs in the Western Conference. They beat the top seeded Canucks in 5 games. So they basically wiped them out. Then swept the Blues and then beat the Coyotes in 5 games. So throughout the first 3 rounds, they only lost 2 games, which is crazy as an 8th seed. Usually 8 seeds go in that first round, they're done.
Yeah.
And then the Kings beat the Devils. I know that hurts a certain someone. They beat the Devils in the championship. That was just a dominant run, I think.
Yeah, that was. I think the other run, I think with the Rangers was 2013. I think, or yeah, because
it wasn't too far after that. I remember.
Yeah, because I think 2012 was either the Bruins or the Blackhawks that won. Because that's when the Blackhawks had their dynasty with Kane and Taves and Sharp and Corey Crawford, the legend.
Corey Crawford.
I think it was.
Jonathan Quick also was on that Kings team.
That's right.
I'm a big fan of him now. I can't believe he's still around.
I know. I wish he was. I wish he was still.
13 years later.
Yeah, I wish he was still as dominant like he was.
Yeah, I mean he played well as a backup of the Rangers.
He
last
did.
year.
Yeah,
I was
he
kind of
did.
shocked by that.
He did. But yeah, I
Yeah,
know that
I was
was
shocked.
that was a good run in 2011. I forgot about that. Reminded me of the good memories.
Yeah. Number 2, the 2007 New York Giants. I'm sure everyone knows about this. Eli Manning led that Giants team, just getting them. They crawled into that playoffs that year. They beat the Bucs, the Cowboys, and the Packers to get to the Super Bowl. We all know they ended Tom Brady's undefeated season, beating the Patriots 17-14, which I don't think anyone had on their bingo card that year.
Definitely not. Especially, I think it makes it all the more sweeter that they were undefeated to that point as well. So there's truly only one
great.
undefeated team, the 1972 Dolphins.
Yep.
The delay. The delay is by like 2 or 3 seconds, so there's always a little bit of awkward silence. But who's number 1, JD?
All right, number 1, the 2004 Boston Red Sox. So I have no recollection of this. I was born in 2004, but I've heard stories about it. I know many people don't like this run because the Red Sox made it out, especially in New York. We'll see why. But the Red Sox made it as a wild card team. They went in there. They beat the Angels rather quickly, and then they were down 3-0 to the Yankees. And to say the Yankees blew that lead, losing in 7 games, then the Red Sox took that momentum going right into the against the Cardinals in the World Series, swept them, so they won 8 in a row to win the championship.
I don't know if you guys have seen the 30 for 30 on. I think it's 4 wins in 4 days. It's titled something like that. And there's no better quote than what Kevin Millar said before the game. He said, "You better beat us tonight, because if you let us win tonight, we got Pedro tomorrow, we got Schilling in Game 6, and then anything can happen in Game 7." And no truer statement. I mean,
Yeah.
instead, because it wasn't even like, oh, they won handedly, or they a couple of the games went to extra. Game 4 and 5 both went to extra innings, and they had to face the baseball's greatest reliever in Mariano Rivera multiple times, and they managed to get away. And then it's even better that they get to the World Series and don't lose a game either.
Yeah, and you know you're dating yourself when you hear the sentence, "They swept the Angels in the postseason." That's
Yeah, so you know it's All right, let's wrap up this show. Going to be a shorter one this week, but let's wrap up. We're going to do Monday night predictions. Cameron's still El Champion in the standings, followed by John. Moving up, went from the cellar to almost the top very quickly. Bernie 3rd,
Making a run.
Corey 4th, Ben 5th, Jack 6th, Soren hopping me. Real quick, before we get into it, I have a bone to pick with Soren. Actually, no. We'll let you make your pick, and then I'll do it. But, John, why don't you kick us off? We got Jets and Bills tonight.
I think we know where this is going.
I think we know. We know what's up.
Well, listen, guys, I know you all think I'm crazy in the head for picking the Jets, but I have my reasons. I didn't even say the score. 24-20 Jets win tonight. I think it's gonna be the typical Jets versus Bills that we've seen the last few years. But I think tonight the offense behind Todd Downing, not Downey, Todd Downing, the new play caller for the Jets, former Titans OC, so he has a commitment to running the football, which the Jets have not done through the first 5 weeks of the season.
Give it to Brees.
So I think that the Jets will run. I think the killer bees tonight, Brees and Braylon will do very well. I think Coach Olbrich will bring that little edge that they haven't had all season. I mean, I've seen it as a Jets fan, but I'm sure other people have seen it too because they've been kind of in the middle of like a standalone game so far this year where everyone's watching. They don't come out prepared. I think that changes tonight. Especially in that first half, especially the first quarter, they need to get the crowd into the game. I know me personally, I'm gonna be checked out if they're losing 10-0 after the first quarter. Like that's just we're just getting sick and tired of the garbage. But I'm gonna be positive. I think they start out strong, go into halftime with a lead, and I think they continue that to the end of the game. It'll stay close. As I mentioned, Brees, I think he has a big game. And can Quinnen Williams please step up? I'm going to call you out today. 1 sack in 5 games. You really didn't do anything last year as well. So I want you to step up tonight because you can't have Will McDonald do it all himself. And like you need someone from the inside to get the pressure, and you also need to play. Like you got to stop saying I'm tired. I need to come out. Like you're the best player on that defense, in my opinion. You need to go out there and show it. Like stop with the baby nonsense. Be like your brother. Your brother goes up there every night, plays his hardest. No one plays harder than that guy. Step up. And one other thing, guys, it's a big day in New York, and the tri-state area because the Devils are playing today too. I'll mention them. I mean, I really don't want to, but the Devils are playing today. The Rangers are tonight. Preseason Nets basketball. The Yankees, the Mets, and the Jets. So have a day in New York. Hopefully we can come out 6-0. I don't think so, but hopefully that's the case.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Honestly,
listen. One more thing: if the Bills win, it technically is New York. So
technically,
that is true.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't count it. I don't count it. But other people do.
I mean, technically, Buffalo is in New York, and the Jets do not play in New York. So you got your a little mixed up there, buddy. But I'm hoping.
Well, tri-state. I said tri-state area.
I know. I'm hoping the killer bees go crazy. I hope the killer bees go crazy today. I hope Rodgers evaporates. That's the goal. Corey, why don't you go?
So I had the Bills 20-13. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I just think the deciding factor is the Bills do not turn the ball over. I mean, they've only turned the ball over twice this year. Josh Allen's yet to throw an interception. If the Jets can't force turnovers, then they're not going to win this game. And also, I just don't. I think, getting into that new system with Jeff Ulbrich, I don't think they're going to be a well-oiled machine just yet. I think he's going to be a lot better than Saleh, but I just think
first week.
Yeah, just first week trying to get used to everything. And again, I just think if they can't force turnovers against the Bills, then they're not going to win this game.
Okay. Soren, come on, real quick. I want you to read. I'm going to read my score and why I believe, and then I'm going to go to you.
Maybe you should say it at the same time together.
Yeah, everybody as well. But no, I'm going to go first, and then
we're not going to be doing that.
Yeah, you're going to wait, and then I'm going to call you out on something. Okay. I have the Bills winning 23-14. Kind of what Corey said. I don't have faith in Jeff Ulbrich to first game come in and lead them to a victory. I think the Jets team will be better, but I don't think it's going to be this week. Bills are also due for a win, coming off of back-to-back kind of deflating losses. And since 2020, the Jets have only had 2 wins over the Bills, and they've been kind of fluky. Last year's season opener, they won with a Xavier Gipson touchdown return, which I remember, John, you were at that game, and you said that place was deafeningly silent. It was the silence you could be heard around the city, which I didn't even think was a thing, but with Rodgers getting hurt, and they end up coming back with that Gipson punt return touchdown, and their only win was by 3 points. So I think there's a lot of things pointing in the direction of the Bills to get back going this week. I don't think Allen has a miraculous game because if you look at the numbers, the Jets have made his life miserable, but I think James Cook has a solid game. Hey, Soren, so my score was 23-14. Why don't you let the people know what your score is for this week?
My score for this week is the Bills winning, obviously. And my score is 24-13.
Okay, let me ask, because this is like the third week that you've done this now, why are you picking the same exact thing as me and changing the score by like 2 points? Because you've done this for 3 straight weeks now.
Vinny, I get to pick what the score is.
I'm aware.
It is my choice of what I have to say.
Okay.
So I don't want you arguing. I don't want you arguing. Yeah, I don't want you complaining about my point differential between yours. It doesn't matter. I have an opinion that I want to say, and I will express what I want to say. Okay?
I'm just
Settle down.
Well, you're the one getting fired up. I'm just wondering why you keep picking the same score, man.
No, it's just I don't understand why you're complaining about it.
I'm just saying you're playing defense in these picks, man. You're ahead of me in the standings, and you're changing the picks by 2 points, man.
Well, listen.
What do you think's gonna happen tonight? Any special predictions?
James Cook, I think, will hopefully run the ball, score a touchdown. Dalton Kincaid might get a little bit of action, but since there is some injuries for the Bills, I'm hoping to see maybe some more production with Keon Coleman. Hopefully we'll see some of that. Maybe he'll have a big game. Who knows?
He's getting locked up tonight, Soren. Keon Coleman's getting locked up tonight.
I'll give you that because Sauce.
You know who the Jets
good.
secondary is? Not just him either. DJ Reed. Don't sleep on him.
Okay.
Top corner in the league.
Cam, who do you have?
All right.
El Champion.
Yeah, it keeps falling. So far, I've had pretty good hands. Only dropped it one time.
Real gems, really heavy.
Yeah, real gems. So I'm going. I mean, honestly, I was really unsure with this whole coaching change for the Jets. I really, honestly, had no idea what team that I was going to go pick with. I didn't necessarily feel comfortable fading the entire group this week, like the man behind the monitor, Jack, likes to do. And I don't have any fantasy implications this time, just like he always seems to end up choosing around fantasy. But I kind of agree with everyone's been saying. I think the Bills really need this win. I think the Jets are going to have a few hiccups this week. Really don't have a whole lot of faith in Rodgers anymore. I mean, like at times I was like, okay, like he looks like he can kind of get back there. But after that awkward tackle he faced last week during the London game, the Hip Hip Cheerio game of the week.
Love Pip Pip Cheerio.
I don't know. I think his confidence is starting to shatter a little bit. I don't know. I like how the team reacted with the whole firing of Robert Saleh. Everyone kind of like, we're going to end up doing it for him, but they haven't really done it for him for the last like 3 seasons. So I'm going to go 27-20 Bills. When it comes for predictions, like who I think will have a big game, I've been waiting for Curtis Samuel to show up. I don't know why the Bills haven't really utilized him. Not that they necessarily need to, because I feel like their wide receiver core right now is like they don't really have a true wide receiver one. Like, yeah, Keon Coleman is there, but like Josh Allen looks a lot more happy and a lot more comfortable in the pocket. He doesn't seem like he's trying to force the ball to like Stephon Diggs anymore. So I don't know. I hope Curtis Samuel has a decent game. I think he would need it. He's been struggling with the targets. He's not getting rostered as much. But you know, I mean, like the guy's like, is Shakir back this week or no? He's still out, right?
He might still be out.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they're going to be looking a lot more to those wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 type guys. Tell the wind to stop, John.
Yeah, tell the wind in your fake land to stop howling so much.
Yeah, but we're going to go 27-20
apologize.
Bills. But honestly, anything can happen. It's a divisional game. Maybe the Jets come out with the fire that they need. After this week, hopefully I'll still hold the crown, but
We'll see.
John's
I'm
creeping up.
happy for the shout out for the Pip Pip Cheer again. It's my favorite. There's another one coming next week.
That's
Jags,
right.
Jags Pats, 9:30 a.m.
What's the
No one's
Munich
watching
game?
that.
Is that like the Oktoberfest? We gotta come up with one
Yeah,
for
give us-
the.
Giants and
I
Panthers.
usually call it. I usually call it.
Giants,
It's usually the
Panthers.
Goons and Todd game of the week is what I've been calling.
Tag.
But no, next week for picks too. There is 2. I don't know why they keep doing the doubleheaders, but there is a doubleheader on
2
Monday Night
Monday
Football next week, and it is
Yes.
definitely tricky games. It's Ravens and Bucks
We sick.
and Cardinals and Chargers. Those are
Yeah.
games that are tough to predict though.
Ooh,
Yeah,
two
but
good
there's
games.
one game where like, oh, I really want to watch this, and then like the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean,
that
but
was
like
some-
both games are definitely tough to predict. though.
Hopefully the Cardinals have a better game than they did against the
they-
Packers, because
yeah.
I was expecting a little bit more. I figured the Packers are going to win, but I wanted a little bit more out of the Cardinals.
So for the man behind the monitor, he has the Bills winning 22-18. Any fantasy implications this week, Jack? James Cook and Garrett Wilson on the bench, so no implications this week for Jack. Just picking based off of his heart. Bernie picking the Buffalo Bills to win 30-21. Has a lot of faith in the stifling Bills offense. And speaking of faith in the Bills offense, Ben Galco, I don't know what he's doing when he picks. He has the Bills to win 59-0. Where is he getting the 50? I mean, for you think that's probably like negative 10 fantasy points for the Jets.
Jets defense.
But then you're probably thinking Tyler Bass is getting so many points there. So
That'd be a scoregami.
it would be a scoregami.
Speaking of which, there was a scoregami during the Cowboys-Lions game. I don't know if you guys saw that. 47-9 was the first time that's ever happened in NFL history.
on
Yeah.
Jerry
So that's-
Jones's birthday,
Yeah,
too.
I know. I was so happy to see him have a miserable
in
birthday.
the suite. He's in the
third,
suite. It's
third scoregami this year too.
Really?
Oh,
What were
yeah.
the other two?
Week 1 and week 2. I couldn't tell you who it was, but I know it was week 1, week 2, and then Lions Cowboys. Let me look that up real
You
quick.
looked
before
it
we-
up. Soren, anything you got before we cut you loose?
I don't think so.
Okay. Run along. Say bye to John. Or don't say bye to John Guy. I guess he doesn't want to say, okay. I was going to say, I was waiting for him to wave. I didn't see anything. But as Cam pulls this up, John, you got to go, if you haven't yet, I know you're going to the game tonight. Maybe you pregame the game with a little chicken Big Mac.
Chicken Big.
Yeah, you didn't hear about it? They released it on Thursday.
I didn't hear about it.
You got to go try it, man.
Jets Niners was the first
no
score.
Big Macs.
No chicken Big Mac. But Jets Niners for week 1, 32-19. That was the first scoregami of the year, week 1. Next one, Dallas Cowboys, actually 2 scoregamis this year.
What was the other one?
Saints Cowboys. I'm trying to look at the score right now.
yeah, when Kamara had like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but Dallas Cowboys holding 2 scoregamis and 2 interceptions in the same game.
Yeah,
except for
2
Days.
scoregamis
Dak
at
Prescott
home.
is having a record-setting season, and I'm so here for it. And it's always the worst score.
Like I said,
44-19.
44-19. Like I said I think it might have been the Lost Chronicles or the second episode. I'm like, they're just Cowboys back in postseason form. In the regular season.
Love to see it.
Nonetheless.
Christmas coming early for that. JD, you got anything else from your fake island?
Even an island.
Yeah, one more thing. I just
What
want
you
to
got?
get up, show Jersey. One sec. Let's go. Hey, let's go Jets. J-E-T-S. Jets.
You look like you got it from DHgate. What kind of green is
Alright,
that?
I'm all good now. I'm all good.
Is that what that was?
What did you say?
It kind of looks like you got that jersey from DHgate. That doesn't look like the real green.
No, it's from last year. The terrible jerseys. Because I bought it, and now they switch uniforms. They're actually wearing like old retros tonight. I'm not really a fan of them, but
Really? I thought that was a Thursday.
they try to do different. I don't know why you would want. I don't know why you would want to bring back uniforms that you didn't win in, but
Well, they haven't.
I'm being positive.
I was gonna say,
Positive.
they don't win a lot, John. So that's most of their uniforms. But
Well, the uniforms they're wearing now are actually they wore when they won the Super Bowl, so that's why they think they're gonna win. But I'm good, all good,
Okay.
all positive today.
all right, go Jets for your sake, but for pick's sake, please no. Cam, Corey, you got anything before we wrap it up?
Not really. I just hopefully next Monday my fantasy team will be 3-4. Hopefully I get a win thanks to Monday Night Football, and hopefully I get another win. I think I'm playing Wigs next week. I think
Ooh, big Wigs.
gotta
matchup.
maybe get a little upset win.
Upset watch. Maybe
we'll
Wigs.
see.
Maybe Wigs will be a bust. We don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't really have anything else to add. Just a very depressing week of football for me.
Prayers up for Hutch though. Prayers
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Speedy recovery.
Yeah, really hope for the best. Honestly, man, take your time. Who knows? Maybe he'll be like Frank Ragnow and like kick Dan Campbell in the head this week and like prove that he's like strong enough or something. You guys saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Frank Ragnow punching him in the face to prove that he was strong enough to
Christ.
play.
that's going to do it for this edition of He Knows Ball. Make sure to like and follow Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Love the support as always. For John from Staten Island, Corey to my right, Cam to my left, and everyone who works here at He Knows Ball, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. Y'all have a great time.